everyone, Miss Ashley here. Happy Monday to you. I hope that y'all have had a great week and that you have enjoyed all of the videos that you have seen so far. I know for some of you, seeing some familiar faces from your club was great, and we cannot wait to see you. And that means in person and through video. So if you are participating in some of these challenges, jump rope challenge from Miss Claudia, or reciting the club code, making a healthy snack, or washing your hands, go ahead and record that stuff and get it uploaded. We would love to see you. Don't forget hashtag BGC checking in on me. We're excited to see y'all and see your progress. Before we get started, before I explain what's going on behind me, let's go ahead and knock out that club code. I know y'all are all practicing. We're proud to see it, and we'll be happy to see y'all and hear it in person here pretty soon. So, I believe in God and the right to worship according to my own faith and religion. I believe in America and the American way of life, in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I believe in fair play, honesty, and sportsmanship. I believe in my Boys and Girls Club, which stands for these things. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you recited it with me. Can't wait to see you soon. So, let's talk a little bit about what's going on behind me. For those of you that go to our Granville Club, this looks familiar to you. This is our tower garden that we have at our Granville Club. If you don't have one of these at your club, talk to your unit director, talk to your site coordinator. Let's go ahead and get one of these in every club across North Central North Carolina. We can make it happen. So, what this is a standing tower garden. So I think we've done it 2 or 3 cycles now of vegetables at our club in Granville County. And so basically we place pods of plants in each of these holes that you see here. And then we turn on these super bright lights, fill it at the bottom with water and nutrients, and then these plants grow, and we're able to cut the lettuce or beans and peas. You can even grow watermelon, cucumbers, tomatoes, anything that you would like in this pod. And so I know we're all at home now, and I brought this to my house, welcome, so that we could go ahead and I can get it planted and I can record it and update you on the progress of our garden. There was no point in it sitting there not getting use, and so hopefully we have some awesome healthy vegetables come from this garden here pretty soon that I'll be able to share with some of you, and share with my neighbors, family, because during these tough times, you know, we really want to be looking out for those around us, for those that we love. And so hopefully this is a way that I'm able to do that. And I really, fingers crossed, hope that by the time we get back into the club that I'm walking in with a few handfuls of some fresh, healthy veggies to share with y'all as well. And so what we're going to do is we use these pods that are right here. We'll get a better up-close shot in just a minute. But these have been soaking in water. And so we're going to go ahead and get them planted, and then I'll update y'all weekly to let you know how our plants are doing, our plants. So we're going to be working on this together, and I'm going to share with you a couple of other options, because guess what? You do not need this fancy system to grow some healthy veggies at your house. And so I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of other options. But really quick, before we kind of head into the kitchen where we're going to do some of our planting, I just want to show you what we're going to be experiencing in the next couple of weeks. So let me plug this in for us really quick. So how awesome is that? So each of these silver tubes that you see here are lit up, and these are going to help our plants grow, so that they don't need outside sunlight. They don't depend on the sunlight. They have all of the water and the sunlight right here to go ahead and grow and produce some really healthy snacks and healthy foods for us. All right, so let's head over into the kitchen, and we're going to go ahead and get to planting. So we are in the kitchen, getting ready to plant our pods. These are ready to go. They have been soaked in some water, and so our seeds will be set up to get a good start in life. And so what we are going to do is I'm just going to grab a little bit of potting soil over here. All right, and we're just going to add a little bit of soil. I don't think that you're going to be able to see this too well. Well, I can hold them up. A little bit of soil in each individual pod. And so this soil is just going to give each seedling a really good start, some nutrients, in there to really help them grow. Think about when you're giving a newborn baby a bottle, they're getting all those great nutrients in there that's really helping them get started to grow, to be giant vegetables that we will put in our salads and cook up for dinner. And so we've got a couple of good things ready to get planted here. I'm excited to share with you. I want to encourage y'all to go out to the store, grab a couple of seed packets. We're gonna in a few minutes after we get our pods planted, we're also gonna plant in just some regular old cups that you may have lying around your house, a couple of different kinds. And I'm gonna follow this process right along with you. So I'm encouraging you, when your parents get out on their very safe, very short grocery trip, to ask them to pick up a couple of packets of seeds for you, and maybe you can go ahead and get some vegetables growing in your kitchen, just like me. We're getting ready to put them in a sunny window. We are going to be growing plants, like I said, in the tower garden, but also I'm going to be growing them without that fancy, awesome garden right along with you. So please go out, grab yourself some seeds and some cups. And so what I have done, it's very fancy, created a list that looks just like this pod. The pods are set out so that I know exactly where I'm gonna put my plants, so that when they are about this big, I don't have to try to figure out what's growing and what maybe is struggling, where I could add a little bit of fertilizer. And so when we plant these, we're gonna bust out a Sharpie and we're just gonna write on here what it is that's in that pot, so that same for you, when you're not sure if that's a bean or a broccoli plant or whatever it is that you decided to plant, that you'll be able to go ahead and take a look at what you've written on it. So go ahead and get your plants ready, and let's go ahead and get to planting. So we're gonna add a little bit of soil right on top. So our pods are all planted, ready to go. They look great as pods can look. And so I just want to tell you really quick what we planted. I forgot all about that part. So right up here, up front, we have planted lettuce. We've actually planted 2 different kinds of lettuce. So our salads are gonna be on point in the next couple of weeks. I'm super excited. We also have spinach that we could add to our salad, or we could cook it up with some eggs, maybe hide it in something to make sure that our kids that are picky eaters get all of their veggies. We've also got some herbs. So we're going with basil, cilantro, and parsley in here. And then in these back 2 rows, 4 bean plants. String beans are one of my favorites, and 4 pea plants. So I have a 4-year-old who loves peas. They're maybe, I'd say actually his second favorite vegetable. Broccoli is really killing it in our house these days, but he loves some peas. And I hope that y'all love your peas too. So we're gonna try to grow a couple of peas here as well. So I'm gonna get these watered, and then I'll be back here with y'all in just a second to go ahead and plant in our cups. All right, see you in a minute. All right, we're gonna get started planting some of our small cups. So like I had mentioned earlier, if you do have some of these bigger cups, these will definitely work. So do not feel pressure if you don't have any of these little ones. If you are going to use these big red cups, I would suggest that you cut them a little bit. So cut them about halfway down. That will help your seeds to get the right amount of sunlight when they're still really small. You don't want all this top part of the cup blocking the sunlight, helping them to grow. So these small ones definitely help. But if you don't have them, these work just as fine. Just get a scissor and get to cutting a little bit. One other thing that would really make your parents happy, but again, not required, but if you could find a tray like this one, maybe a cooking tray that's not being used, make sure you ask permission first, but a tray not only while you're planting, but also to just hold your cups and your plants in, so that if you want to move them from one spot to the next, if you spill a little water while you're doing your watering, you've got it in something that's gonna slow down the mess. Maybe not eliminate it, but at least slow it down for mom and dad. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill these up with some soil, and then we're gonna get to planting. All right, let's do it. Pots are fullish, so they're a little bit over halfway full, leaving some space for our seeds on top, and then we're gonna top it off with a little bit more soil, and then definitely get some water in there for them. All right, so I've got 8 ready, and we've got 8 different varieties of plants. So we're gonna do one of each. We're gonna go ahead and get them in there, all right? So we're gonna start off with a little bit of parsley. Get it in there. Couple all around. These are small. We've got some cilantro. Taco Tuesday will never be the same. Some basil. I better stop. Forgot to write on them. I'm not even following my own instructions, y'all. All right, parsley. Cilantro. Basil. All right, let's get some basil in there. All right, what's next? Peas. They're huge. Peas. Green beans, string beans. All right, got some lettuce. Told y'all I love a good salad. Let's get some lettuce going. Another lettuce. Hope y'all are yelling at the screen, telling me to write on my cups. And spinach, before I forget. Lettuce. Lettuce. Spinach. All right, I'm gonna grab another little cup, fill it up with some soil, and cover everybody up. I'm not the most prepared gardener over here, I will say. I do not have a watering can. So I'm gonna pause you really quick, go over to my sink, because luckily I have one of those nozzles and I can just squirt a little bit of water in each and every cup to get their water source going, and then I'm going to show you where I'm going to keep these plants as well as our pods for the next couple of weeks before they're ready either to get planted in the ground or in our tower garden or a bigger pot. So I'm going to pause y'all, and I will be right back after we're watered. Last step in the process for today. Today was planting day. I hope you had a great time. I hope that you went out to the store and went and grabbed you a couple of vegetable plants, your favorites, and got to work. Got your cups ready or your little pods, whatever you were able to find. So last step, we've got this super sunny window here, some little tables set out, and so we are actually going to put our pods in the window as well. These we have to let sprout and kind of get a little bit bigger before they are ready to go into the tower garden. And also we have our cups all labeled and ready to get into the sun to start growing. So I'm gonna update y'all every week before my video. Just kind of give a quick shout out to the Sunny Window. Hope that they are doing their thing. I hope that y'all are gonna go ahead and get some planted too. I have one quick tip for you. We didn't really get to it today. We might do it again though. When you go and you grab your seeds, your vegetable seeds, pick up a couple flower seeds as well. Some marigolds might be awesome to have. Maybe some really pretty ones that you can go ahead and get planted. If you plant some flower seeds next to your vegetables, these will attract really good insects. I know you might be thinking that's gross, but insects will come to eat some of these beautiful flowers, and at the same time they might take a rest on your bean plant or on your cucumber plant, and they'll drop some really important nutrients to your vegetable plants. And so not only do they look awesome and beautiful in your yard or in your house, you can also pick some. Mother's Day is coming up, a little tip for y'all, but they will also help your vegetable plants to grow and to help your garden to be super prosperous. And so before I leave y'all today, I want to read you a quick book, one of my favorite books about gardening. I hope that y'all are all doing all of your reading. You know, school is still going on. I know that you're not in school. I know that you're not in your desk, but it's really important that you're still getting your reading going, that you're reading every single night, and that you are enjoying a good book. And so I'm gonna read one of my favorites about gardening. I love to garden. I have a huge garden in my backyard that I will be happy to share with y'all in the next couple of weeks so that you can watch it grow along with our tower garden. But here we go, let's get to reading. We Are the Gardeners, written by Joanna Gaines and kids. We Are the Gardeners. That's a pretty official title, but we didn't start out this way. Just like our garden, we started small and grew from there. Some say that a garden just grows from seeds, but we think it grows from trying and failing and trying again. A garden is hard work, but so is most of the good, important stuff in life. Make sure y'all can see this. Our family's garden story began with one small potted fern. Dad stumbled upon it at the hardware store when he ran in for some supplies. He said it was just too cute to leave behind, and he thought it would make Mom smile. And it did. We chose a sunny windowsill for that pretty little fern. It seemed like a good, safe spot for him to grow. This was back when we were little kids. But we still remember visiting the plant each day to give him a drink, and sometimes we'd even whisper to him a bit. And then, plot twist, out of nowhere, our fern died. Death by overhydration. That's just a fancy way of saying we gave him way too much water. Looking back, each of us must have watered him every day. That's a lot of drinks for a little plant. By mistake, we loved that plant to death. Some people tell themselves they are no good at something after one small failure, but no chance we were going to give up that easily. So we checked out some books from the library, and we found out that ferns can be tricky and prefer to live in a shady spot. Apparently, a plant's leaves can communicate to us what they're needing. We also learned that most plants have good manners and like to sip, not gulp. Lesson learned. Dad got us a fresh fern, and with it came fresh hope. This time, we set the pot on our piano, way on the other side of the room, where the sun wouldn't give him so much attention. We made a watering schedule and took turns saying a lot of nice things to our little sprout of a plant. And fern number 2 lived and thrived and grew. And finally, Mom got him a little potted friend. And then another, and then 1 or 2 more. We noticed that talking to our plants actually helped make them grow bigger and stronger. So we added some songs and jokes into the mix. Unlike when we overwatered 0 plants died from us talking too much. Pretty soon, plants were taking over the house, and Dad said it was time to graduate to outdoor gardening. Mom was excited about the new outdoor garden, as we were, and she started talking about it with a dreamy look in her eyes. That's when Dad called a family meeting so we could come up with a real plan. We all gathered around the kitchen table and got to work, dreaming, planning, and drawing things out. We knew we needed a sunny spot, a place where the plants could sunbathe for at least 6 hours a day. We'd be red as radishes if we did that, but plants just love it. And more than that, they need it. In the garden, there is no life without light. Dad always says that the foundation is the most important thing when it comes to building a house. A house can't be strong if it's built on something weak. And the same holds true in the garden. So to make the foundation of our garden strong, we filled it with something called soil. Good soil, which includes a bunch of tiny living things called organisms, can grow things in it. That's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. A whole hidden world of life is happening beneath our feet. Just because you can't see the good things with your eyes doesn't mean they're not there. And another cool thing about soil is that it feeds and strengthens the seeds we sow. And then, like a miracle, plants and flowers burst out of the ground. We also knew we needed our garden to get plenty of water. Rain is the very best thing for plants to drink, but it's hard to know when and if rain is coming. So a couple other options to keep plants hydrated are to collect rainwater or use a sprinkler or garden hose to get the job done. Once we had a location with plenty of sun, good soil, and a watering plan, we got right to work. First things first, seeds. The most fun part of planning our garden was deciding what to plant. We started with all the foods we like to eat, like strawberries and tomatoes, and then we chose some pretty flowers to keep them company. The thing about seeds is that they're everyday miracles. Everything a plant will grow up to be is already hidden inside the seed. We chose flowers like zinnias, sunflowers, and cosmos so that pollinators would visit our garden. Butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees spread pollen around from flower to flower, encouraging even more things to bloom. We like knowing that little helpers are out there in nature working with us to help this garden grow. The bees must have put the word out that we had a pretty good thing going, because sure enough, all sorts of other critters started to arrive. We quickly found out that there were 3 types of bugs in our backyard: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the worst part. It was a pretty sad day when the aphids arrived. They are some of the more well-known villains in the gardening world. They suck the life right out of the plants. But then the ladybugs showed up to eat those pesky aphids for lunch. Ladybugs are a sure part of a hero camp, bravely protecting our plant friends from harm. And we've got to tell you about earthworms. They're like secret agents of the garden. Earthworms eat all of the dead things, like old roots and leaves, and turn them into life for the soil. Every time we found one, we would all high-five and celebrate. They aren't pretty, but who cares? They're awesome, and we love seeing them hard at work. We realized pretty quickly that we needed to keep the weeds out. They are the true bullies of the garden. Weeds try to steal water, sunlight, and nutrients from our fruits and veggies, and it's our job to make sure those little rascals don't take over. If we ignore the garden for too long, the weeds run wild and hurt our beloved plants. It's so much easier to do just a little bit every day. We were officially gardeners and had a real-life garden to prove it. That garden became our pride and joy, day in and day out. We tended to our plants, making sure they got plenty of sun and water. Every time a new plant sprouted up from the ground, our excitement grew right along with it. As time passed, our garden grew bigger, and so did our family. When our garden was finally in full bloom and growing tall, we'd run through the aisles and watch the butterflies flutter around us. But one day, as we were mid-skip, we noticed some trespassers helping themselves to lunch. And by lunch, we meant half of the garden. Animals may look cute and innocent, but some have a sneaky side. They can wipe out a garden in no time flat. The chickens ate the vegetables. The goats ate Mom's roses. And the bunnies weren't picky at all. They ate anything in sight. Saying goodbye to that many happy plants was even harder than throwing away our very first dead fern. We debated if we should just give up. Was it really worth it to start all over again? Then we remembered one very important detail. We are the gardeners. It was our responsibility not only to grow this garden, but also to protect it. So we put up a little fence to keep the animals out and got to work rebuilding our garden. It didn't take long to get our plants and flowers growing tall again. To this day, our very favorite days are when we get to gather the fruits of our labor. Mom loves to set the table with pretty flowers in every color you can imagine. We help her dream up recipes for the food we've grown. Sometimes when we see all of that beauty laid out, we can't believe our hands helped bring it to life. And it makes all the hard work worth it. It's what keeps us coming back day after day, season after season. We still keep a little fern on the piano to remind us of our small beginnings. Every time we water it, we're reminded not to give up when things don't work out the first time. Because the thing is, whether one potted fern dies or half of the garden is wiped out by little critters, every failure or setback teaches us something. Dad says that every hard thing we choose to do makes us braver for the next time. There are so many lessons waiting to be learned and a whole world of gardening ready to bloom. We are the gardeners, and you can be too. The end. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this book. I hope you enjoyed our time together planting our garden. I really hope that you are encouraged and that you are motivated to go ahead and try to plant a garden of your own. Who knows, we have a lot of extra time on our hands. It wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up a new hobby, maybe try a new activity that you can do by yourself or you can do with your family, and you could grow beautiful vegetables and flowers that you can go ahead and share with others. So until next time, y'all, it was good to see you. I hope that you enjoyed our time together here. All right, bye.